Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Peggy.
And you're watching
the Junction Fiber Mill Millcast. We have not seen each other in quite a while.
Yeah, what's it been, like a week or something?
Yeah, a little more than a week.
Yeah. So we're back
nice
together.
To see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, nice to be back on the Millcast.
Is this a new scarf thing that you're wearing?
You know what? It's one of those sort of do this.
Oh, how hip are you?
Well, and the color I now know from you is I was totally snowed in this morning. We had 23-mile-an-hour winds, and Todd and I had to get to the sheep, so I was totally bundled up trying to shovel out, and I'll talk about that more, but that's why I wear this and an old sweater. And what are you wearing?
I am wearing a fun new sample. This is called I had written it down, Junction Twist. Named after our yarn. It's by Carly Bauer, and she sent it over to us, which is so kind of her, but it's knit with our Valley Fog and our new Roots Paprika and DK.
It's adorable.
Yeah, so it's
I love
I'm
the scallop.
Take it off to show it off for real. But it's a an infinity scarf or what have you. And then there's like this little motif that just gives it a little extra something. Yeah,
very cute.
And it could be a lot more intense if you chose a more intense making tracks, but you can just see the subtle variation with the making tracks.
With the Valley Fog, right.
But I had been, I put this on last week right after it came and wore it all day. It was so cozy. And so, it's on borrow, but I'm wearing it up.
It looks very cute, very cute. So let's catch up a little bit. You went to New York.
Yeah. Oh my God. We had such a good trip. My Cody's parents came.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you. And Mark. They both came to watch the children so that Cody and I could get away on a little trip to the big city. And we
big city, not just Boston, down to the Big Apple.
Sorry, Boston.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No, the Big Apple. And so we stayed in a nice hotel in my old neighborhood. And
fabulous.
Yeah, I've just never done a trip like that. It was very fun to be there with this, I guess with the rose-colored glasses of I'm a parent and this is so rare. Literally anything is great, but I'm in a city filled with really great things. So we did tons of eating. We ate so many delicious things. Pistachio croissants are having a big moment in New York City. So we had several of those and I brought some back. Sorry, Peggy.
That's all right.
And we went out to some fabulous dinners. I got to catch up with some friends I haven't seen in a while. I lived in New York briefly for 2 years before I met Cody and then ditched that for the woods. So I know enough about New York to be dangerous or really, know enough to have a great time. Yeah. So I went to some old haunts, but also tried some new spots and, we got to go dancing one of the nights. We went to a literal speakeasy. It's been around since Prohibition era. Yeah. Totally the whole thing. It's in the East Village and you walk through an alleyway and then you get to the door. And we got there 10 p.m., which is so late for this area. It was dead. But the band was playing and it's, the real, they had the washboard and the singers all dressed up and everything. And I was like, where are all the people? And then 10:15, 10:20. And everyone's rolling in, wearing their suits, and this was Monday night, New York City. Wow. People dressed to the nines to dance. I used to do that in the city, so I love any chance I get to dance. And so it was just fun to be able to dance with strangers and dance with Cody and have a ball. So that was super fun. We walked across the Brooklyn Bridge. We saw the Brooklyn Heights Promenade. So many things. So I had a wonderful trip and it was much needed. And it was again from Saturday night to Tuesday. So kind of random days, but it doesn't really matter in New York City. No. Oh, and one thing I'll have to note, because I think you have a similar experience in Quebec, but on Saturday night when we got there, the weather was fine. We had our little tiny puddle jumper flight. Yeah. And so thankfully there was no snow, but we landed, we checked into the hotel, we went out to dinner. When we emerged from dinner, big fat flakes just coming down.
Right, and you're in a snow globe, right?
And it was Saturday night, and it was just a ball. Because New Yorkers were all freaking out about it, and everyone has to be outside. Here, it snows, and everyone huddles into their houses. Yeah. In New York, everyone's out and about, and women were wearing super impractical shoes, and you could see the prints of little stilettos, and so it was fun. It was tracking animals, but tracking.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
And we go to Washington Square Park, which is near where we were staying, and all the NYU students were out starting big snowball fights. And I was like, I want to throw a snowball. So I spotted a guy who had a snowball in hand, and I got him gently, and then I just like ran away. He has no idea. I just had so much fun.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was great.
Excellent. Very, very good.
How was your trip?
So Todd and I went to Quebec City, old Quebec City.
I've never been.
We had never been. And we met with 2 of our friends who had flown in from Chicago.
You guys drove?
We drove. It's about 4.5 hours from where we are. Not a bad drive.
Yeah.
And it was a bright, sparkly day when we got there. And we just had a great time Wednesday afternoon. There's something called the 1884 Toboggan, which is a classic right next to this classic hotel. And so we had a great day. And then the blizzard arrived. And we were literally in a blizzard in old Quebec City. And it was insane. 15 inches of snow.
Whoa.
And wicked winds. But we were in this old city, and it was okay.
Like walkable and
totally walkable. Duck in and get something warm, and we just had a great time. And then the next day, all this snow and bright and sunny. Still a little windy at times, but we just had all kinds of adventures. We went to a sauna, the Strom Spa, on the St. Lawrence River in the blizzard.
That sounds ideal.
It was packed. It was crazy.
Yeah.
We just had one adventure after the other, and we too had some amazing meals. Absolutely amazing. The highlight was in a newer section of Quebec called the Kunda Hotel. That is the name of the restaurant. It's a fusion Indian restaurant.
Oh, I love it.
We had the Discover menu.
Okay.
All 4 of us. We said we'd never had a meal like that before.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. Anyway, we had a great time. And then, so we had the blizzard in Montreal. That cleared. In Quebec City. Then drove down, and just in time to get totally snowed in yesterday.
Yep.
Just crazy. And it snowed all, I don't know when it eventually stopped. But then the winds kicked up. So for us, we were totally socked in this morning. And we were waiting for the plow, but we had to get the animals fed. So Todd and I are out there with the shovels trying to clear the gate so we could get in. And in the middle of all that, yesterday Todd tried to get the tractor going because we need to get a round bale to the girls' tractor. Is dead as a doornail.
Oh my God.
And that's a problem. Those big round bales that you sometimes see in the fields, especially if you're up here.
They look like giant marshmallows.
Giant marshmallows. They weigh 450 pounds. It's not like Todd and I together can like roll it into the barnyard.
Nope.
So Todd was on the phone first thing this morning to try and see how quickly we can get the tractor fixed, but there's no way it's going to get fixed in time.
You're going to just throw some
We're doing square bales, but we're also hoping there's a neighbor that's got a good tractor that we're hoping will help us, because you got animals, you got to feed them.
Oh man, I hope it's like cold related and snow related and somehow.
No, I think it's a little more serious, but that's okay.
I'm so sorry.
We had an outstanding time, but for a lot of different reasons. I haven't been here for a week, so it's a little weird to come in and go, oh, all right, everything's still going. The plates are still spinning. Yeah,
it's
but
good.
It feels really good to be back.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so lots going on. So you had an open house.
Yep.
Just this past Saturday.
Yep, we had the open house, and it was fabulous. We sort of put out our small skeins and second skeins and bins and let folks sort of buy by the gram.
Yeah.
And that was hugely popular.
Excellent.
I think some people just like to find like just a little bit of this, a little bit of that to finish a project. And then other people were really into like the unique one-off bizarro colors.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when we're making, well, almost all the time, there's just a little bit left of some of the single plies.
Right.
And so we'll put those aside.
Yeah.
And eventually we'll get enough of them that staff will just go through and like pair some funky things together
have some fun.
And make these new yarns. So those ended up in there.
Excellent.
And then some folks just were like, oh, great. Because, they would think it was like 15 or 20% off of the normal price. So it was a good deal. But we did that. And then we just had a lot of lovely folks coming in. We did have Corriedale Confetti on the shelves.
Yeah.
So some people bought that ahead of time, which felt like fun and special. But
Eileen said there were lots of tours.
Yes, Eileen was holding down the tours, and I was back here chit-chatting and running the register. So
Perfect.
We made a good team.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Our next open house, we'll probably remind you at the end of the episode, but March 15th. So
another Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you couldn't make this Saturday, put that down on your calendar.
Totally.
Yeah. So I just checked just to see how things were going in the mill. We're doing some really beautiful Clun Forest. It's on the pin drafter. Yeah, the breed is Glen Forest, and it's on the pin drafter right now, and it's a beautiful gray. It's really a white fiber, and we've added a little bit of gray because that's what the customer asked for, and it's looking really great.
So it's a custom processing.
Custom processing job. Yeah, don't fall too far in love. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so things are good in the mill. And finally, drum roll. Yeah, we're ready.
We have our new line of yarn, which we just came up with for this occasion, and we'll be using it in the future. But Summit, and this is the Corriedale Confetti. So we have 2 colorways. You want this one?
You want to do them both at the same time?
Yeah,
all right.
Why not? Big unveiling.
All right, ready? Here we go.
There we go. So we have the light pink and the light gray, which is actually more of a medium gray, I have to say.
Yeah, it is. It's an amazing gray, but the silk really pops through. This is 3-ply Corriedale with
and it's locally sourced Corriedale.
Absolutely.
And then the gray, this one just has some recycled sari silk in it. So I actually didn't know. I thought it was Surrey silk. I've been calling it Surrey silk. I looked it up. It's the silk that was used to make saris, so dyed all these Technicolor colors. And we have blended it in with the wool. So this is just the white natural Corriedale wool with the recycled sari, and it turned out pink. I thought it would be off-white, but it's
a slight shade of pink because of the sari being pulled through. And this is the same. The sari is now also in the gray.
We also added a little imported Spanish black merino to
right,
this
to get
one
this
to get
gray.
The gray.
Right.
So we have 2 different options. Both are fabulous. I actually think this light pink is like a little bit like rose gold. It's a little... It's not like hit you in the face pink. It's like a subtle,
no, it's very subtle,
lovely pink. And I want to just make sure you see this really close up. We have some photos on the website as well, so you can see the little flecks of all the different colors.
We're gonna do the same for the gray because I think the gray is spectacular. Again, it's 3-ply, which means it's very round, and because it's Corriedale, it's got a lot of sponge to it. It's got a lot of loft to it. So yeah, so if you kind
of... And we did the measurements. We thought this one was coming in more worsted weight, so that's what we put on the labels, but it would knit up well with, our making tracks too.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so Summit, though, is going to be the name, the family of yarns that are just like kind of the creme de la creme of what we're making here. So for the reason of this one being 3-ply and having this sort of additional beautiful dyed silk in it, that's what makes it Summit rather than Farm Fresh, for instance. Right. And Roots is just our making tracks base, but a solid version of it. Right. So I know we're throwing lots of new names at you, but we feel
like we need to distinguish between the different things that we're doing. And the 3-ply, we don't normally, none of our making tracks is 3-ply. Our Roots isn't 3-ply, and 3-ply takes extra time.
Yeah, you gotta spin a whole nother ply, and those individual plies take longer because they have to be finer.
Right. So anyway, lovely 3-ply. With the silk. Yeah. And that is now available.
Well, this will come out at midnight on Tuesday, and then at 10 a.m. This will be available.
So what will come out at midnight is this Millcast, and then the yarn itself will be available at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, Eastern time.
Yeah.
And this, we learned our lesson. We feel like we've got a good stock.
But definitely jump on this one if you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So enjoy that. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And this is the one you saw sort of, if you were following us on Instagram, you kind of saw how it was made and all the different steps.
Yeah, I mean, we've really been working on this yarn for the past month or so. Because it's a lot of wool to scour, and then once it gets scoured, just like these big batches coming through the mill. So I thought it was really fun to be able to share all the different
steps. As long as
steps.
we're bringing up scouring, because it's Corriedale, it had a lot of lanolin in it, and it really took a third more time to get it all scoured, to really get that lanolin out. There's remnants of lanolin. People wonder, well, it smells like wool. But you can't have a lot of oil, or you would just gum up the equipment. So so that's where that's at. Yeah, have fun with it.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. This is beautiful.
As I have said in the past, I'm a monogamous knitter. But as it's sitting here going, I'm like, what would I?
I need to sock away a couple skeins before they all get snapped up?
Yeah, before they all get snapped up.
Yeah, we should tell the staff. Today's the day.
Today's the day. Get your Summit Corriedale confetti. So other news?
Well, we had, in addition to this beautiful design that I'm wearing, which again is the Junction twist pattern, we had Aunt Janet, as she calls herself, sent us an email of the new pattern that she's designed, which is called the Speechless Hat Pattern. You're seeing it right here. Aunt Janet, funny enough, she is... what would she describe herself? The third wheel to the
pastry guys.
So anyway, she designed this beautiful hat. She's come to the mill before, and we just wanted to share with you what that hat is looking like. Is that the wind blowing the door or a person?
I don't. Jeez.
That is a little spooky.
The wind just blew open the door. That's all right. We'll get it going.
Thanks, Liz.
Aunt Janet, thanks a lot for the pattern. Very good. Yeah. We also wanted to say thanks for all of you who entered the contest that we had. We don't do contests like that very often.
Last one we did was, I think, in August. So this was to celebrate
hitting
our 30,000 followers on Instagram.
Which is very humbling and
totally
little
wild. Yeah.
But we thought we'd do a contest to give away a gift certificate. So that has been completed. And boy, thanks everybody for being part of that fun.
Yeah, and if you're the winner, we will have reached out to you directly. Always, never. We had a couple people trying to like
do a scam thing.
Yeah, they were reaching out to people saying, "Give us your information. We're Junction Fiber Mill." We will never do that. If you're the winner, you'll hear from us directly.
It's sort of like, is that what it means that we've arrived? That people are now doing scams with us? That's really...
I know. I think it was that use of the hashtag giveaway triggered some robot. I don't know. We're sorry if that happened to you. That wasn't us. And
that wasn't us.
Thank you for whoever was reporting that. That was weird.
It's sort of like the IRS saying, "We will never call you if anyone calls you." Yeah. Yep. So anyway. Yeah, what else we got? Hey, you working on some new?
I am, and I was hoping to get it to a point that it really started to come together, but it's still gonna look like a blob. So this is my what is it called? Every time I forget. I think it's a Stockholm slip over V-neck.
Right.
So I'm still working on the V part of it, and I've done the left side.
Yep.
So you can see I've got the back here with this is our 3-ply Jacob twist. It's all from
love
the same
that
flock.
And then this comes over.
Yeah, and this is the left. I'm almost there with the right. And then I believe it's, again, I don't read ahead in patterns, unlike you, so I'm not quite sure. But I believe at this soon, I'll probably put a few more stitches for the underarms and then connect them. And then I think I'll be
in the
round and round and round. So I'll stop purling soon, which will be nice. But
excellent.
Yeah, I really like these patterns. They're what I liked about, I don't know if I mentioned it already, but there's this is Petite Knit. She does so much shaping on this. It's a little bit more advanced of a pattern, but like up here where I basically you knit like a rectangle to do the back part.
Right.
And then you pick up stitches along your cast on edge, and you're not just like knitting straight down and increasing. There's actually some like decreasing first and then some increasing again. So I feel like it's just gonna fit really, really beautifully. And,
excellent.
Again, I wouldn't say knitting is my top priority right now, but it happens once or twice a week. So
I did not bring my knitting, but I did start doing some knitting. I can't do it for very long because my back is improving, but I didn't want to press it. So I've got, I'm back to my son-in-law's sweater.
Yeah.
And I've got about 2 inches on one of the sleeves. So I'm
fabulous.
I'm in there. I'm getting it going.
You must be excited to be done with that. Is it not only is it not for you, it's also the second time you've knit this sweater before.
Yeah, it's more like it's been in my world for so long.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not doing it, I've been thinking about it, so I'd like to get on. But
because you had to frog it, like when you were.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Sad. Sorry to bring it up again.
Yeah, that's okay. I have a really interesting. I think it's an interesting question. So when you're knitting a sweater sleeves down.
Yeah.
When you get to here, you're picking it up. Then you've got to do the sleeve. And I've got a sweater now on my lap that I'm having to keep turning around. Does anyone ever do the sleeve back and forth and then do a seam?
Well, I mean, that's just flat knitting, right?
Yeah, but on a shoulder down, you wouldn't typically do that. You'd pick up all the stitches and then just do the decrease in the round.
Yep.
I'm just curious if anybody, once they get going, stop and say, you know what? I don't want to be moving the sweater around. I'm going to go back and forth and then I'll do a seam. I'm just curious.
Well, for the dustland, isn't it so you have so much patterning?
But it's very straightforward.
But then you'd have to purl.
But it's knits and purls. It's not like cabling or
I would be nervous about missing
It's not like stranded. It's not like stranded knitting where you'd be
Yeah.
Anyway, just curious if anyone.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear too.
Yeah.
Right in.
Yeah. So lots to do to get caught up here today.
Yeah. I'm heading home. I'm gonna ditch you to do that work because it's President's Day here, and I've got kids out of daycare, so I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, I just feel like I want to
do my part of the shoveling,
get caught up on things, which is good. But on your calendars, there we've mentioned before we talk about the 15th. Mark your calendars if you're in the Boston area. March 9th. That will be the second time we're back at Wayland, the Russell Garden Center. It's Sunday. It starts at 10:30 and it'll go to, I think, 3, maybe 3:30. Check their website. It's the Russell Garden Center in Wayland, Massachusetts. It's just a great festival. It's inside these greenhouses. The food trucks are not to be believed. So hopefully I'll see you there if you're at all inclined to join.
Yeah.
And then again, the following on the 15th is that Saturday we'll do another open house.
And we'll do the small skeins again available, or the second, so you can build your own if you happen to be coming through then.
Yeah.
That's St. Patrick's Day weekend, so I don't know, maybe that'll bring folks to the area.
Yeah, get your green on.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day, everyone.
Take care.
Bye. All right, so we ended the Millcast a little short today, so I wanted to take some time to take you on a swing through the mill and show you what we've got going on. Okay, so it looks like Eleonora is working on some dyeing. What colorway are you doing?
Zinnia DK.
Okay, so she's just getting that set up to go. And then, let's see, oh my gosh, there is some beautiful making tracks. This is the Enchanted Forest, which is our new version of late October being spun. How nice is that? I'm loving this new colorway. It was a total accident, but a happy accident. All right, let's see what else. Okay, Sophia is working on putting out the lily pad. Color making tracks. This is what it looks like before it gets pin drafted. And you can see we have more bags. This is going to be the second ply, so you can see this one doesn't have the yellow. This one does have the yellow. And that's what it looks like once it comes out of the dye pot and it's been dyed. And the reason that we're putting it out on the racks is so that it can go smoothly into the pin drafter. And speaking of the pin drafter, this is that Clun Forest that Peg was talking about earlier. How gorgeous is that? So it's got just a little bit of black blended in with it to give it that nice gray. And you can see that it's, it has that beautiful kind of like tonal to it. I wish we could keep that, but that kind of gets pin drafted out. So you could, what I mean by that is like these little stripes of black and white going into the machine. I just think that looks so delightful, so I'm glad we can share them with you all. It looks like we've got January nights on the skein winder. You can see we got lots of bobbins there. Oh, this one, here's a little sneak peek on a new roots color in the works. I don't know what we're gonna call this yet, but I am loving this purple, and it actually looks so beautiful next to the January nights there. Okay, let's see what else. I'm sorry if I'm making you incredibly dizzy. I'm having fun playing with our new little camera here. Okay, let's check out with what Elise is doing. Hello.
Hello.
What are you up to?
I am setting up the ply for Enchanted Forest.
Okay, so what you see on the spinner for the single ply here. Oh, and I didn't even get to the part where it's actually being spun. So this is the single ply. And then Elise is setting it up to be plied together. So this is spinning from roving. You can see it make its way through the machine. It's got 5 rollers to go through that are doing the drafting, or sort of making the bundle of fibers thinner and thinner. And then this is the point right there where the twist gets put in and it becomes yarn. Single ply of yarn, not very strong, not finished, but yarn nonetheless. And what I love to see here is you get to see all the different varieties of what that single looks like. No skein of making tracks is the same as any other. It's another way of saying they're all unique. Just like you. Okay, and this is very much not Enchanted Forest. That's the deep end. But you all know that. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna make you dizzy again. Coming up to the front. Oh, well, there's not a ton going on up here. I can see we still have some Corriedale Confetti that needs to be hanged. Let's see. so that stuff is hanged. We've got a few skeins that are waiting to be hanged, and then this is the fun bin o' yarn that I took photos with last week for the website, and that just needs to be rehanged and labeled. And we got to change our sign, but let's see. I'll give you one final look at what is going on in our world, and that is so much snow. I don't even know. We're in town here, so it's a little bit less snow than we've got at our respective houses, which are kind of more up in the hills. But yeah, it is wicked snowy. Okay, well, I am gonna head back through the mill and edit this Millcast. So I hope you enjoyed our little nauseating tour, and we'll see you next time.